Report Epsilon Delta 2-9-3014 999 M41. High Inquisitor Overlord Report. Enclosed is my report on Junior Inquisitor Zephon's report on Incident 2141 on the outer fringes of the Ultima Segmentum. Report follows. Ordo Xenos. Investigating Imperial agri-worlds who have come under attack by Xenos identified as Drukari Dark Eldar raiding force. In addition, Imperial World 427. Report. See Report 2141 for full investigation into PDF Rebellion and Planetary Governor Rebellion against Imperial rule. Unrelated to incident. Main incident. Suspected Drukari interference in the destruction of Imperial Guard Super Heavy Vehicle convoy. Banesword Super Heavy tank was destroyed in addition to numerous light Lehman Russ and light armored vehicles. See Sub-Report Mechanicus for full information and inventory on vehicle damage, destruction, and losses. Counter Report. In response to incident and an attempt to bring out suspected Xenos interference, a scout force was identified and set up by Colonel of 228th Arataki Lightfoot Regiment to identify, secure, position, and draw out Xenos. Recruits for Scout Force identified as Scout Team 1, chosen from low-level Imperial Guard units and below half-strength squad units who were declared expendable or surplus to regimental requirements. See enclosed report. Closed report. Personnel. Staff List 1. Private Dempsey Brown, former gunnery sergeant. Sub-report. Incident leading to demotion involving Adeptus Sororitas Canoness. See Sub-report 69B for further information. Second squad member. Medicae. Yuri Ostrovsky. Sub-report. Rumored narcotics user. See Sub-report 24B for further information. Third personnel member. Taven. See Sub-report AB1. Imperial Guard Sanctified Psyker taken from Black Tive ship Unity of Purpose. See further sub-reports for reasons not used as fuel for Throne. Finally, Adeptus Mechanicus, 4th grade Tech Priest, ident Lucius Auxiliaris. See Report 245 for Adeptus Mechanicus overview of role, position, and promotion prospects. Squad list enclosed and follows. Begin. After squad was chosen by Colonel Moore of Arataki 228th Lightfoot, it was dispatched out at all haste to the potential Xenos site on primary objective to recover the damaged Banesword Super Heavy tank, with the hidden objective of drawing out any Xenos forces in the area. Report follows. Scout Team 1 immediately began pestering local Imperial Guard quartermasters. See Sub-report DB42 for list of formal written complaints against all individual members of Scout Team 1 by local quartermaster. Also see attached report from Imperial Guard 228th Gunnery Sergeant at firing range. Overviews of the capabilities and firing potential of 3 of the 4 members of Scout Team 1 who came to firing range to test fire weapons before setting out on mission. Report concluded subpar gunnery skills by all involved, further solidifying expendable potential of full squad of Scout Team 1. See report. Despite being ordered to set out at all speed for objective, Scout Team 1 proceeded to mill around the base, contributing negligible beneficial value to fellow members of regiment or to operations of forward operating base at that time. Report indicates squad was able to obtain a Chimera infantry transport vehicle for purposes of mission, while against mission protocol and against the direct orders of their mission. Also see report. All personnel in Scout Team 1 unable and unqualified to drive Chimera armored fighting vehicle or any Imperial Guard armored fighting vehicles. Lack of qualified vehicle driver led to the conscription to Scout Team 1 of Sergeant Rauparaha, 228 Arataki Lightfoot. See full record of service personnel in subsection folder D. Rauparaha was officially fully qualified as driver of infantry fighting vehicles and Chimera armored personnel carriers. However, investigation reports that his qualifications had lapsed, and it had been 8 years since he had stepped forth in a vehicle in the driver's seat. Consequences of which is later further on in the report. See paragraph 21. Continue. After squad had finished milling around and wasting the Emperor's time and resources and arguing with fellow members of Regiment and Quartermaster Corps, able to set out 7 hours behind schedule from initial set-off estimation time towards the objective, with possession of Chimera armored fighting vehicle. Scout Team 1 proceeded to take Chimera vehicle up a 40-degree incline slope in conditions and environment unsuited to armored fighting vehicle traction or armored fighting vehicle conditions. See report 2B2141 on appropriate conditions and placements for Imperial Guard armored fighting vehicles, slope inclines and ground conditions for successful operational vehicle standards. After nearly damaging the armored fighting vehicle, they proceeded to move up towards checkpoint Omega 1. After moving past the Imperial Guard checkpoint, they moved outside friendly lines towards enemy hostile territory currently occupied by traitor PDF forces. Infantry armored fighting vehicle was immediately stuck upon a narrow track under the driving tutelage of Sergeant Rauparaha. Vehicle was therefore completely bogged down and stuck and unable to move. Vehicle later recovered by Adeptus Mechanicus salvage teams. However, significant damage to tracks and underside of vehicle noted. Sergeant Rauparaha was disciplined for his lack of effective driving status, in addition to the damage towards Adeptus Mechanicus and Imperial Guard property. Scout Team 1 moved down ridgeline towards hostile enemy occupied town. Enemy occupied town had estimated dozen hostiles within it. These hostiles were of poor troop quality, poor morale, poor discipline. Scout Team 1 was able to successfully navigate around the traitor PDF positions after radioing it into command. Inquisitor personal note: due to the poor levels of stealth and discipline displayed by Scout Team 1, it was incomprehensible that they were able to navigate successfully with full stealth and unawareness around enemy position. Requires further investigation as to reasons why Scout Team 1 were so successful in their role, and possible investigation of potential Imperial Saint status amongst members or blessings of the Emperor present upon any individual members. Unlikely, personal report ends. Scout Team 1, after successfully moving around, successfully moved into a small wadi where they engaged their first enemies. 4 traitor PDF troops identified in a scout team. Successful heavy bolt of fire blew off the legs of first individual, whereas alpha psychic powers of Psyker identified as Taven of Scout Team 1 was successful in destroying remaining 3 members of Scout Team. Scout Team 1 moved into wounded surviving traitor PDF soldier, obtaining information in addition to valuable intelligence on enemy positions and strength. Scout Team 1 then proceeded to display behavior contrary to that of good conduct of a member of the Astra Militarum-Imperial Guard. Note: all traitors should be immediately executed by death after interrogation, or given chance to repent of sins against Imperium before summary execution. Scout Team 1, with emphasis upon Private Dempsey Brown, maintained the life and current status of traitor PDF soldier, bringing them along for reasons unknown. Per recommendations, team should be monitored for potential treacherous behavior in future, in addition to secessionist sympathies. Subreport concludes. Scout Team 1 proceeded to move towards enemy-occupied hostile town. After successfully gaining good intelligence upon enemy disposition, strength, and calling in an artillery barrage upon potential site to disrupt enemy muster formations, Scout Team 1 moved on. Investigation into potential narcotics manufacture by Medicae officer Yuri Ostrovsky without squad has been inconclusive. However, we'll continue to monitor for any illegal narcotic substances manufactured by potential Imperial Guardsmen Medicae units, contrary to the wishes and orders and guidelines laid down in the Imperial Medicae Handbook. Report concludes. Scout Team 1 proceeded to split into two members heading off ahead of the others, while 2 members flagged behind. Report concludes that 2 members lagged behind due to poor fitness and discipline, and increased fitness regimes for both individual members of Scout Team 1 has been approved by Colonel Moore for disciplinary and improved efficiency purposes. While initial advanced scout team of Scout Team 1 was absent, reserved team consisting of Medicae Yuri and Tech Priest Lucius engaged enemy hostile traitor PDF patrol. 3 individual members. All individual members destroyed with extreme prejudice, as is becoming of members of the Imperial Guard towards traitor forces. After this, investigate subreport reports of friendly fire and attempted mutiny amongst members of Scout Team 1. Report investigation concluded that attempted organ harvesting by Medicae Yuri Ostrovsky was the catalyst incident, as behavior unbecoming of Imperial Guardsmen Medicae was the main catalyst leading to mutiny and attempted violence between squad members as they attempted to hold unit discipline and cohesion together. Full disciplinary actions against the Medicae and potential suspension of Medicae service license in regards to conduct unbecoming of a member of the Medicae of the Astra Militarum has been proposed but not yet actioned. With no further incidents, Scout Team 1 were able to make it to crash vehicle site and Bane Sword objective. No signs of Xenos in immediate area. Upon investigation, Scout Team 1 radioed back the dismemberment and mutilation of all members of Imperial Guard armored fighting vehicle crews, and their dismemberment and placement in amongst their own armored fighting vehicles. Similar violation, mutilation and dismemberment by Drukhari forces towards Imperial forces and civilians can be seen in other incidents, and notably in reports 224146, 6758525 and report TB 4264. Conclusion. It definitely identified work of Drukhari or potential traitor Astartes or traitor influence upon area. However, in light of other Xenos-related evidence, safe to conclude that the incident was concluded and conducted by Drukhari raiding party as identified earlier. Scout Team 1 proceeded to hunker down and hold position while awaiting reinforcements. Members of the Adeptus Astartes Death Watch Kill Team Gamalong Prime, in addition to Inquisitor Zephon, were present upon planet. Side note, Imperial Guard Astra Militarum reinforcements were available to relieve Scout Team 1 at any given time. However, reinforcement was denied due to unconfirmed reports of Drukhari and attempts to lure them out to attack directly in the open where could be eliminated by Imperial forces. The dispatchment of Kill Team and Inquisitor Zephon was not authorized until confirmed Drukhari influence and attack upon Scout Team 1 was confirmed. Drukhari attack force attacked Scout Team 1 approximately 2 hours after initial contact with Imperial Guard Banesword and damaged convoy. Battle report follows. Medicaid officer Yuri Otrowski hit in head by needle round from Drukhari ballistic projectile weapon, knocked unconscious, potential nerve toxin infection and severe head trauma, was rendered unconscious and unable to perform duties for rest of engagement. Dereliction of duty charges have been authorized but not yet actioned for dereliction of duty in face of enemy hostile fire. Private Dempsey Brown laid down suppressing fire with heavy bolter upon Drukhari positions on high ground ridge overlooking battle site. Unconfirmed number of rounds fired and unconfirmed number of enemies hostile contacts destroyed as a result of private suppressing fire actions. Psyker Taven attempted to launch psychic fire and psychic lightning against Drukhari positions, however was unsuccessful in manifestations at beginning of site battle. Private Dempsey Brown wounded multiple times in shoulder, arms and hands by Drukhari needle weapons. The influence of the neurotoxin identified as toxin FE414 suggests Drukhari attempting to take Scout Team 1 alive for unknown purposes. Report continues. After sporadic and consistent sniper and gunnery fire from Drukhari projectile needle weapons upon hillside, Drukhari identified lifeforms as witch elves using female designated 20th gender attacked upon Scout Team 1. Scout Team 1's reaction was to move inside Banesword Super Heavy Armored Fighting Vehicle and barricade it against hostiles until reinforcements arrived. Close quarter, close range fighting between Scout Team 1 and Drukhari as they penetrated the rear and top hatch of Armored Fighting Vehicle followed. Sub-report: use of high explosive frag grenades inside Armored Fighting Vehicle with quake shells and previously damaged plasma reactor concludes that Scout Team 1 are unaware and untrained in proper use of explosives and explosive discipline. The continued survival of Banesword Super Heavy Tank, identified with the moniker Injustice of Purity, concludes favourable odds and good fortunes for Scout Team 1. Subnote: Scout Team 1 then proceeded to abandon Armoured Fighting Vehicle to maintain an open, rather than staying in an enclosed defensible position. The abandonment of valuable Imperial Astra Militarum armoured fighting vehicles is conduct unbecoming towards members of the Astra Militarum. Upon exit of Banesword out into open, confronted by creatures identified as Homunculus or Homunculi, stitched up abomination creations of Drukhari, see sub-report Z41 upon full inventory of creatures subtypes, potential makeup, genetic structure, and combat capabilities. Scout Team 1 continued to engage Drukhari hostile forces and numerous Drukhari lifeforms and individual Drukhari warriors. Individual accounts of battle, including potential marks for heroism, cowardice, combat capability, and potential, can be found by report investigated and written by Colonel Cassandra Moore, 228th Arataki Lightfoot Regiment. Such individual accounts of Scout Team 1's bravery, heroism, or honour unrelated or unimportant to inquisitorial investigations, and therefore not listed as part of this report. Arrival of Inquisitor Zephon and Adeptus Astartes Thunderhawk pattern gunship with assigned Adeptus Astartes pattern kill team to site was able to neutralize enemy confirmed leader of Drukhari raiding party in addition to any surviving Drukhari members. Full survival of Scout Team 1 was considered miraculous by members of Adeptus Astartes and Inquisitor Zephon himself, whose personal report had estimated 100% losses amongst Scout Team 1 throughout the battle. Continued survival of Scout Team 1 is considered irrelevant to overall inquisitorial reports. Conclusion: Operation identified as success. Banesword Super Heavy Vehicle Tank recovered. Drukhari raiding force destroyed and eliminated. Continued survival of Scout Team 1 considered operational bonus. Identified potential heretical elements amongst Scout Team 1 will continue to be identified by local commissar teams. Report ends.